Hello there, welcome back. I've actually finished something. It's been like 2 months since I've actually finished a model. Hang on, well, I've finished 3. One was a paint mule, the other one was a bit of a disappointment, but it's led me to this. So, experiment in flight, okay? So that's Trumpeter's Westland Whirlwind, at a nice jaunty angle, with a pipe up its gym hole, as I now call it. Okay, and that's a 1/16 figure base. So not the best kit in the world, fun, easy to put together, and I did it as a civilian prototype, the green P9 version, just to give it a go, okay? Because what I have finished, which I'm quite proud of, I think I've done a good job with this one, using the same technique for in-flight, is Tamiya's Dornier Pfeil Arrow. It's a push me, pull you, twin engine fighter destroyer from late war. So let's have a quick look at it. I'll start with some reveal photos instead of me just shoving this up in your nose here, and I'll put them up now and we'll talk over them. So basically it was done strictly out of the box. There was nothing added to it. I didn't modify anything to it either. Didn't drill out the exhaust or any of those sort of things. I just put it together and I tried to get the best paint job I could out of it. My process was priming it in black, and then marbling the 2 coats for the top coats over. Can't remember the RLM numbers, whatever they are, straight out of the bottle. Marbled them, and then I put down some mottling inside those coats of different colours, different tones. And once that was done, sprayed the final coat over. The other thing, the same principle was used on the bottom, using the... Ooh, what was that? I've got lead in the bottom of the base to keep it nice, and because it's going to tip over. But yeah, the same thing was done on the bottom. I used the RLM, I think it's 76 light blue, and basically called out some different panels and so forth, and yeah, went together quite well. So that was the painting side of things. The next thing to do was the markings. Now, I've done it once or twice before, but I wanted to go a bit more with painting the markings on, and that's what I did on the top side with the crosses and the swastika. Because it's a simple white outline, you know, can't stuff that up, can I? And I didn't, in the main. A few chips here and there that I didn't get exactly right, but that was good because it gave a sort of a good patina to the overall finish. Underneath, however, I used the Tamiya decals, very thick, very unforgiving with the solvent. I think the solvent I used was Mr. Mark Softer, which is a bit too aggressive for Tamiya stuff. So some of them tore away, but because it's black and white, it's easy just to paint over them and sand it back. So they went in okay. So after the decals, I did my favourite clear coat, which is Tamiya's X22. Okay, thinned with Mr. Leveling Thinner, and then you just mist over from a distance, probably about 30 centimetres. You just mist over another layer of just straight thinner, and that settles it all down nicely. It's comes up it's a really good gloss coat. It's much better than Future in my opinion, very controllable, so that's what I wanted. And then from there, weathering. This is the fun bit. Okay, with the weathering, I started on the bottom just to get into it, into the thing, and I used the MIG panel line washers, and instead of just using one, I used several colours. And on the control surfaces, I wanted to go for a dark, grimy colour to make them stand out, and with the panel lines themselves, I didn't want them to stand out so much, and I wanted them to be different colours as you go across them. Instead of just black, 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 it's, you know, it's a tan grey, it's a blue grey, a green, just depending on what the colour is, particularly on the top surface where the sun's going to fade that and there's going to be a lot of wear. So it's given a lot of things for your eye to look at other variations in the paint, so they don't stand out so starkly. So there's no pre-shading or anything of that sort of stuff either. You just don't need it for, well, in my opinion, each to his own. And after that, matte coat. I think I used micro flat. And again, the trick with that one I did is I didn't cover the whole surface with micro flat. I did the horizontal surfaces definitely, and a little bit on the top. But on the side along the fuselage, I wanted a little bit of sheen still there from the clear coat. and I then applied some streaking effects that I'd use on tanks. So why not put it on an aircraft, you know? So I used winter streaking grime, normal streaking grime, and even some black washes. And what I was able to do with that was, and I want to do this better next time, I don't think I was aggressive enough, is the nose, okay? I think I've got a picture up there I'll put up again. You know, most of these motors in World War II were not pristine. They spewed out a lot of oil and gunk and junk. So with that one, all I did is just applied a little dot of the wash, let it sit there for 2 or 3 minutes, and then I just came back with a wide brush and just flicked it backwards like that, and to get those sort of streak effects. So when I get around to doing my favourite Spitfire, the Mark 12, which has got one of my favourite photos of it on its side like this, and the whole underbelly is just covered in oil and grime, I'll use that technique. So that was really fun learning that. And then just a few pigments down the side. I actually, when I was doing, this is the great thing about black basing, is when I was putting down the green and the violet green, dark brown, whatever colour that is, behind the exhaust, I actually faded that in within the paintwork itself. So when it came time to do the final weathering, I didn't have to actually do much. I think I just threw down a couple of pigments and a bit more. Could have gone more aggressive. A couple of people have asked me, yeah, you probably could have streaked that more, but you know, there it is. It's handy to do it in the paintwork from the get-go. What else was there? Well, not much really. I have to talk about how to make it in flight. Now, as you can see over my shoulder, I have built quite a few Tamiya 1/48 scale aircraft and converted them all into flight. And this was the easiest by far. The main wheel well with the main doors there, they actually fit. Okay, they actually fit straight up. I just needed to sand in the inside curvature, because the problem with all wheel wells they put in model aircraft these days, they're way out of scale. They're far too thick, which to me is a big, you know, why are you spending all this money on resin wheel well sets but you don't replace the doors? That should be paper thin. But anyway, I won't go into that. So they need to be thinned around the side just to get them to fit nice and snugly. Bombay fitted okay, and the nose wheel was the only real issue. I had to put a little bit of plastic card in there just for it to have something to sit on, because you have to snip off the hinges, which is pretty much by the by. But the great thing about this is a nice flush fit, and it looks real, looks right. Okay, so I was really happy with that, and it didn't take a lot of time to do. The other thing I did was in the gym hole, I put in the rear engine inlet just behind the scoop there. What I've put in there, I don't know if you can see that, is a piece of, I think it's 9mm diameter styrene tube, and that's glued inside the fuselage, and that's what the rod fits into, so I can take it in and out. It's just a friction fit, it's not glued in, so that's good for transport or to, you know, throw this up in the air at you on the camera. And that was it. The props do spin, okay, and my next stage, I'm taking this excrementally, no, incrementally, is putting motors in. So if you were to build this kit yourself and you want to do this in flight, there's plenty of room inside here to put in some micro motors. And as I said, because these things were flush fitted, the doors were flush fitted, you could easily put a magnet on there so you can pop it off, turn the switch on, have the motors going, voila, looks like it's really flying. It's not dumb, it's actually quite easy to do. Anyway, with that, that's my first one I've done since August, I think. So we're going to go forward in time next, and I've got a modern jet to finish, and then backwards in time, and I'm going to start a World War I plane. So until then, I'll see you later.